Hi, everybody. Welcome from our enormous Patch.xr team and our Patchathon participants. So what we've been doing all week is this group of people from around the world have all met for the first time, and they've found ways of exploring, creating new musical instruments and new audiovisual experiences in VR. I'm Peter Kirn. I run the website CDM at cdm.link, not to be confused with CTM, the folks that you heard. So that's D as in dog instead of T as in tiger. I don't know, whatever the Navy terms are, but hi, I'm Peter. And around me are the folks who've been working in the workshop this week. I'm going to kick it over to Melody. If you want to say hello and introduce yourselves and tell us what PatchXR is.
Hi, my name is Melody, and I'm co-founder of PatchXR. I'm also a contemporary artist working in VR for many years now. And I'm part of the PatchXR team with Edo, which is also here with us today, and a bunch of other great developer and artists. So it was our first hackathon. So we're developing this software to make interactive sonic world, how we call them. It's creating instrument and interactive world in virtual reality. So for this hackathon, it's the first time we actually shared the software to a bunch of creatives and artists all over the world. And we were super amazed to see the incredible creation that they've came up with in just 6 days of time. So some of them had never worked with VR before, and it was just insane to see the potentiality of, collaborative work and in this medium. Also, this whole happened online, so it was pretty great to see how this team started to help each other and work remotely with our team. It was really great. Edo, do you want to say something?
Not really, just that we are super impressed and inspired by what you all guys did. It was awesome to have you around, and we hope to keep playing with you. And for the people watching, enjoy. So, cheers.
Now I should have come with like a prop, like 3D glasses or something. But for those of you who are thinking, oh, a VR presentation, I should tune out. I don't have a VR headset. No, you're wrong. Through the power of the internet and like incredibly amazing streaming technology that we have, which we know is so reliable and high fidelity, you'll be able to get some kind of view of what everybody has done. Of course, it's not going to be at quite the resolution without some of the spatial feedback that you would get if you were looking in VR. But even as videos, and I've seen all the videos, it looks very, very cool. So don't go away. We have a bunch of stuff to watch. And rather than me talk, because I know a lot of you have spent a lot of time looking at Zooms, let's get started with the videos. So first up, from Ferran and Yenting, who are here, we'll talk to them in a second, a piece called Summer Festival, video number 1. So thanks so much. And actually, we have both of those creators here. So let's say hello to Ferhan and Yenting. Can you tell us a little bit about what we just watched? This is a really beautiful piece.
Yeah. Hello.
Thank you. Hello. So, okay, my name is Yenting, and he's Ferran. We're the team of Score, and this is our piece. This piece you just watched is called Summer Festival, which we composed this week. And the concept of this work is actually pretty simple. Is we're trying to imagine this scenario of this Japanese style of summer festival that you can imagine. For those who doesn't know, it's like this Natsu Matsuri, and people are wearing in yukata and they're waiting for summer, like fireworks. In this night market, it's very, very crowded and very, very lively. So we try to imitate some traditional Japanese instruments to imitate the sound and try to play with all these things we want to play in Patch, like the sequencer and different kind of sound generator. Maybe you can say more about this.
Yeah, and we just try to actually make the sounds, copy in a way, like try to imitate the sound. I think that was very interesting inside Patch. And then as well, visually, we try to use some of the tools as well inside Patch about drawing lines and how can we make that react to the signals and such. I think it was it was a very interesting experience.
Yeah, and so you build all those instruments in this environment, right?
Yes, like with all these tools inside from Patch. So actually, sound-wise, we didn't bring anything from how to say?
Yeah, from outside. Yeah, we tried to use all the tools inside Patch because we wanted to see
how we can come up with
how far we can get.
Yeah, the only thing we use from outside is the models, the meshes.
But we didn't use so much in the end. We just used 2 meshes. So
yeah. And you can see this kind of pencil drawing that we're trying to do this kind of abstract fireworks style. Yeah.
So just so people at home know what they'll be seeing today, this environment Patch it's a modular environment, and I was even surprised by how much the team has built into it. So these kind of pipe fittings that you see, all of those represent building blocks of sound and visuals and interaction. So people are really constructing their own instruments in this kind of open playground. Well, thank you so much for that piece. It's beautiful. We have a bunch more to get through. Stay tuned, by the way, to everybody for the end. There is a expert jury, so there's a competitive element of sorts to this, although everybody is a winner, clearly, as you'll see. It's really good stuff. So next we go to Planetario Ancestral Futurista from Moises, video number 2. Okay, it's gone.
Yo, so
tell us a little bit about. I mean,
yeah.
there's a lot of stuff going on in this video. So real quickly, can you share some of the kind of background or imagery that we're seeing in the video?
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, I wanted to try out to, first of all, present the relativity between like rhythmic measures and very like rhythmic structures, and also play with harmonics, right? So there's this thing that if you speed up a rhythm high enough in tempo, it starts becoming a tone. So I was playing with the specialization and also with the imagery. I'm doing like, I imported some AI generated masks were generated by the GAN trained on Mexican masks. So traditional Mexican masks. It's all like these objects that are floating around. And also the pyramidal structures, it was super cool because now it could like customize this whole planetarium. So the background is like, there is this Omnimax theater in Tijuana, where I'm from, which is like a huge ball. Like it's a Omnimax theater. So I kind of imagined what would it be to kind of play inside this structure in Patch. So it was like this first approximation of like having this Omnimax multi-dimensional structure, because I also imported these GAN generated visuals on the back. And so it's like a lot of AI workflow went in there, and also customization stuff. And yeah, a lot of ancestral knowledge, kind of like channeling this relativity between the micro and the microstructures of the universe.
That's yeah, it's really great to see all that stuff going on. We may have lost a little bit of that answer, but I'm not, no, because I'm watching the feed and something may have dropped out. For those of you who just joined us, we're looking at the results of the Patchathon. People created all kinds of audiovisual immersive environments in this VR platform and patching toolkit over the past 6 days. So all around, people from all around the world doing stuff for the first time, working very quickly to create the beautiful projects that you've seen. And if you stay with us, we'll have some expert jury opinions on what they've done at the very end. But thanks so much, Moises. I'm going to go next to one of the developers of this environment has also contributed an example called Neon Whales. Hold on. How do you say NYAN? Melody?
I actually don't know.
You don't know. Let's cut to that video. It's video number 3. And when we return, the exciting answer to how to pronounce the name of this video. Stay with us. So there's more of that video going up. We're seeing some excerpts today, sometimes of longer pieces, that one and the one from Oasis. But this project came from inside the PatchXR team. Melody and Edo, can you tell us a little bit about the background, how this piece came about from one of your developers?
Sure. Yeah. So this piece was made by Victor, in fact. The little story behind that is the hackathon, or the Patchathon, was a week-long Patchathon for the participants, but also within Patch, because as we realized, most of the participants were not just musicians and sound engineers, but also coming from the digital art and media art and very interested in visual. And this is definitely something we wanted to go for and develop, but kind of further in the future. But then this became kind of a priority to help also the team have more tools to create compelling visual to come with their music. So as Victor was developing all these new visual tools, he got super excited and started to build his own worlds. So we thought it would be nice to show it too.
Excellent. Yeah, and so there's been lots of interaction over these 6 days. The project that you're seeing come from this group of artists who come from around the world, and they've had tons of interaction with the developers at PatchXR. So there's kind of a back and forth where literally the developers are sometimes pushing out new features and builds, partly based on conversations that they're having about the artists, things that the developers wanted to kind of offer the artists, things that artists were asking for. I mean, all of you on the Patch team are also, also come from artistic backgrounds and have your own ideas about what this tool could be. So there was lots of back and forth. Well, let's move on to the next video, something quite different. So even though everybody's using the same tools, we hoped for lots of variety and got even more variety, I think, than we expected. So now video number 4, Urchin. Such a beautiful piece. Unfortunately, Shermik, the artist, is not with us today, or couldn't join us for the call. But Melody, you were telling us a little bit about the conception of this piece. So it can also be sort of an installation or something that people can interact with, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think like right now in the video we see that he's manipulating this virus-style instrument, and it was meant to be a collaborative piece, so multiple players can come and start modulating these spikes.
And the engine also supports multiple or sort of multiplayer interaction.
This is something.
Good.
Yeah.
Is it supposed to be a virus? I did the urchin thing worked for me, and I had a kind of under the sea image and was not thinking about COVID-19. But was the virus also his inspiration?
Well, he didn't clearly mention. I think he discovered. I mean, he did the piece, and then he posted, and then realized that it was very on topic with the kind of imagery we see right now. And especially.
So yeah, apologies if that triggered anybody. But now we can show you something completely different. So from Peter Harris, here's a piece called March of the Megaphones, video number 5. this Peter, can you tell us a little bit about the March of the Megaphones? So you have steampunk, your steampunk coffee machine. So there's also a kind of steampunk angle that you brought to your project.
Yeah. So I'm a prop maker for London Theatre and various festivals around the UK, including Shambhala up in Northamptonshire. Recently, we worked on Jeff Wayne's War of the Worlds, which is a VR and live action interactive thing in London. Had to shut down, unfortunately, through COVID, but I created the prop that you see in the performance as a physical object for the show. So I've got it with me today, and here it is. It's I'm going to have to back up, I think. So I scanned this in and use the PatchXR sprite editor, which you can actually connect up to the various components in PatchXR and play in sequence with the sounds that you're making. So I was mainly making sprites that moved it's called the Bazooka Megaphone, and I was making them sort of spin and pulse in and out in time to me sort of hitting the massive distorting gong that I have to say I do come from the sort of physical space more than the musical space, as you've probably imagined. But I did have a nice little dance about halfway through the video. I think that's also quite a good thing about PatchXR. You can do a physical performance while you're actually doing your tune. So, sort of dancing along there. And I love the cameras inside the space. You can set those up where you want. It's very easy to record. And also the components that you link together, when you really look at them closely, there's so much detail in them. They're beautiful things which all link together, have little cogs, and sometimes I think the phaser's got some pistons on it. It's been great. I mean, that interface, using it for a week has been a dream. It's better than any 2D interface that I use. It's intuitive. I love the radial menu. I mean, at times I used it so often, you start getting muscle memory where the options are, and you're barely looking at the radial menu when you're using it. So, I mean, hats off to the developers here, because that's a hell of a space. I love the depth and scale as well. I mean, that's a product of VR, is that there is no limit to how much space you can use there. It's it's just great. I've had so much fun.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of the same things from other people. So we've had prop makers, we've had visual artists, composers, musicians, sound designers, some people with experience in VR, some people developing their own VR platforms, some really new to it. We've had a big mix of people. So thanks so much, Peter. Peter's one of our solo artists. We've also had some people work collaboratively or as collectives. So next, from one of those collectives, Sound Obsessed, and I think this is not a typo, it's not Planterwald, but Voice Drawings in Platerwald, video number 6. Thanks so much to Sound Obsessed for this really beautiful and painterly work. So there are three of them with us today, right? Three of you. Moises, Portrait XO, and Sybil are all on the feed. You should at least say hi, because each of you have really cool backgrounds.
Hi.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thanks.
One of the things that I can say, like that in the way that we were working together. So like Moises largely, was working the patches, and we were all together brainstorming as to what we wanted to do. So we focused on, on the visual audio reactive aspect of things. So to really bring on the experience that where the sound is not disconnected from what you are seeing. So in a way that it can really surround you. So the sound is literally drawing in space. And so then I pass the word to Rainy or Moises, whoever wants to speak some more.
Moises, you were going to talk a little bit about, or Rania, go ahead. Rania's morphing slowly too, so we have to cut to her for a little bit.
So yeah, this was a really fun collaborative project. It's been amazing to work with Moises because he knows the way everything works so well, because he's been using it for a few years, and he was able to give a lot of insight. And the way we worked the last few days during our intense sessions was a collaboration of like the sound design and the direction we wanted to take with the interactivity. And we really wanted to do some stuff with audio reactive vocals. And hopefully that's something that we can see happen in the future, where you can actually hear live audio input and see like the visuals react to the live audio input. But yeah, this is really fun. I'm gonna let Moises do more of the explaining of how our interactions kind of like spurred the inspiration for the piece.
Yeah, so the piece is it's an instrument. We actually used one of the patches that was already in Patch XR, one of the demo patches, which was like a sequencer. So we started to hack it. Also the spirograph, it's like a pre-made patch with visuals. So I was like, initially it's just connected to some oscillators and it was kind of looping. So they brought in this mic input object, which is quite cool, because then everything you connect to it reacts in some way to your voice and to the fundamental tone of what you're singing. So I hooked it up to the pencil. So whenever you're singing or performing, or even just having the speaker output from the sequencer, it's constantly evolving. And also with Sibella's video 360 environment, I think it looks really, really good.
It's Plantable.
Plantable,
Yeah,
that was a
thanks so
typo,
much.
yes, sorry about that.
Yeah.
I thought the Berliners were gonna catch it.
So next, for something completely different, again, we're going to go to Chris and Commonolithic with a piece called Caroline, video number 7.
guess, Chris, you should present your great video.
Okay. Hey, I'm Chris, and me and Monolithic and I made this carillon together. We met at the start of the week through the hackathon and decided we wanted to work collaboratively, and quickly somehow came upon the realization that we both really loved the carillon as an instrument. I used to live beside one, or really close to one in Wellington for a few years, and the sound of the carillon is, I don't know, there's something special about it, and it's this incredibly dissonant instrument that's often quite out of tune, and all the bells are very harsh, strange sounding things. And they generally play to an entire city, so you've got this giant tower playing weird, beating, slightly out of tune noises to an entire city, which I think is like a really wonderful, thing. I should say, in terms of some of the technical things we did to build this, I physically modeled like foundry bells for the audio synthesis, and the whole thing is tuned to just intonation, so rather than 12-tone equal temperaments. And also, when I was building it, I focused, so when I was doing the audio part of it, I focused a lot on, in the interface, creating interesting kind of clashing combinations of notes in the interface, rather than laying it out as like a traditional keyboard for when I performed it. I can quickly pass over to Monolithic to talk about the bells and some of the visual aspects of it.
Hi, yeah, thanks for that, Chris. Yeah, my name's Monolithic. I'm based in Montreal. Bonjour, hi. So yeah, we had this conversation, realized we both love this instrument, and I've been working with 3D scanning, and I scanned a bell. And so this became a perfect opportunity to kind of realize a dream, it turns out, for both of us. And yes, as Chris said, we met through the hackathon. I feel like the kind of general concept just came together very nicely, and it was great fun collaborating with Chris. And thanks to the Patch team and the developers for building in so much more functionality visually, mesh-wise. Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, you guys did a great job. So I don't know, we've lost our master of ceremony for a minute. So I guess I'll take over, and now we can watch this amazing work from Holophrenia.
So thanks so much, Yolande, for that beautiful video. Glad that you're able to join us.
Yeah.
We're running short on time, so I guess say a quick hello and then we'll try to move on.
Yeah, so I'm Julian Bonecchi. I'm interested in 3D spatial sonification, lucid dreams, and exponential music. So I worked with simple kinetic choir with frequencies inside Patch, expecting to achieve more or less a contemplative oniric experience and ambience. And then I included these 3D objects that I have been modeling over the last years, inspired in my own dreams. And the main concept is connected to this holophrenia thing. And that's it.
So thanks so much. So next we have a piece called Madrid from Jonathan. Jonathan's not with us, but the video is. So here's Madrid, video number 9. So thanks so much. That Jonathan isn't here, but this beautiful piece, Madrid. Next from Mohsen is a piece called RTTT, video number 10. So thanks so much. So Mohsen is with us now somewhere. Ah, yeah, you moved in Zoom Square, so I got confused. Can you tell us a little bit about what you've created, and also what RTTT stands for?
Yeah, this is a project that I'm already researching and working on. It is render through truth through texture. It's something about mirrors and reflections in Iranian literature that I found out that render to texture technology in game engines and in like 3D worlds could represent this like this idea and this concept in about mirrors and reflections. And I focused more on visual tools on PatchXR, like background 360 video, or bringing 3D models using pencils in drawing some geometries to realize this idea for this project.
Yeah, another really beautiful and expressive piece. So thanks so much.
Thank you. Thank you and all the team.
So finally, from another from an Iranian artist to one more Mexican artist, from CNDSD comes a piece called Cyber Live Coder, video number 11, and our final video for today. So much. We now go to let's tune into Molly to tell us a little bit about this last piece. And Molly, I know you're known in the live coding scene as well. I think both as a music and visual live coder, right?
Yes, yes. Hi everybody. And basically in the patch
my idea is of being like a cyber woman orchestra or something, but also a live coder. I also want to implement architecture or an abandoned and safe place to do a concert in a post-apocalyptic world. That is my idea. Of course, I'm missing a lot of work, but basically the idea was to make melodic sequencers, synthesizers, and this combined with tidal cycles. Tidal is the tool I use always to make live coding. And I don't know, on the other hand, the patch is incredible. You can practically put anything you can imagine. It's totally possible to do like coding within the environment and generating possible environments. And I really appreciate having been this opportunity with such tremendous developers and artists.
Yeah, we're really excited to have you. I think you've, I mean, the live coding scene has done so much to show us what's possible in the virtual.
Yes.
You all were doing it long before we had to, or long before the kind of pandemic forced us into the situation. So it's great to see you all continuing to innovate. All right, well, so thanks to all of the videos. We're out of videos, which is good because I know Amaze is watching us and saying they need to wrap this up. They're already over time, I know, but now, the whatever Price, Waterhouse, Cooper, however the judging is kept final, I don't know who the winners are, truly. I'm going to turn it over to Mookie, and I will be as surprised as the rest of you. So Mookie, tell us about your judges, tell us about our judges and jury, and then tell us who's won.
Absolutely, you guys, it's been an incredible experience just to kind of see this happen, and I'm so proud of Patch. I met them a couple years ago at the Berlin Most Wanted and stayed in touch with them, and proudly sit on their advisory board to help guide them along the way. And it's great to see the software and everything develop so well, and you guys as users, and fantastic to see so many talented people and females and a great range of diversity from all over the world. So my name is Mookie Colhan. I'm the head judge for this jury. I'm a executive XR producer and creative technologist in cross-platform VR, AR, 5G work streams, XMTV, BBC, ITV, and work very closely with creatives in the XR spatial design space. On our jury, who is not with us today, was Kareem Famous, who's part of Abbey Road Studios, as well as Rafi Nazim, who's XNBC Universal and an XR spatial design animator. And he's leading a couple fantastic projects right now with Unity, Unreal, and Pixar, and Cartoon Network, and the such. And Gabriella, who is not with us today, who's a multimedia artist as well. And then Oisin Lunny is with us. If you'd like to quickly introduce yourself, Oisin.
Oh, thank you. Oisin Lunny, lovely to be here. Well done to all of the finalists. Absolutely blew our tiny minds. Thank you. I'm a journalist, sometime musician, podcast host. Visit oisinlunny.com for more details.
Perfect. So we know that we're going to give some cyber drum rolls. So if you can kind of get your Patch XR tools ready and get us some drum roll beats. We would like to congratulate all the 10 finalists who made it, because we know there was amazing turnout for applications, and it's been an amazing week. And this is the first ever Patchathon. So well done to all the finalists. Drum roll, please. And over to Oisin Lunny to mention the honorable mentions and runners up.
Okay, the honorable mentions. Number one, in no particular order, RTTT. The judges said it was nuts in a good way. Hypnotic, soothing, neon loveliness. Congratulations, RTTT. The next honorable mention goes to Planetario, Ancestral, Futurista. And the judges said, wild exclamation mark, audio reactive vocals plus visuals, lovely stuff. The next honorable mention of 4 goes to Cyber Live Coder, and the judges loved the live coding visuals. And the final honorable mention goes to Voice Drawings in Platterwald, refreshing use of the Patch XR tools and different visuals to juxtapose the EDM visual steampunk tools and trippy echoes and arpeggios. So congratulations to all of the honorable mentions there.
And our runner-ups, Oisin, I think we've got two runners up. Let's
sure
give those a go.
I'd be absolutely delighted. Thank you. Okay, one of the first runner-up is Noises and Jazz, or Madrid / Jonathan Bell, as we were referring to it. And what we thought was these were lovely vocals mixed in with this piece. What a nice surprise. And one of my personal favorites, one of many, Urchin, that was so cool. And the judges said great use of the deep bass sounds and multi-layered visuals, dope track, good interface, balances usability with creativity. And I thought it was nice and menacing and a bit raw and a bit rough. So very, very cool there. Congratulations to Noises and Jazz, or Madrid Jonathan Bell, and Urchin, who are the two runners-up.
And our grand prize winner of the first ever Patchathon, part of Amaze 2020, is Ocean
Holofrenia!
Yay. All right, well, thanks so much, everybody. I know the Amaze Orchestra is now playing us off. They're ready to go on to the next piece, but thanks so much to the PatchXR team. Thanks to all of our participants. I really thought all 11 projects were amazing. It was great to work with you all. You can follow PatchXR for kind of more information, and cdm.link. I'll write something up for everything that didn't fit in this video, but thanks to all of you, and carry on with Amaze. See you later.
Like all the scores were super duper duper close. So well done.
Good. Well,
and by the way, the rankings were on a scale of 1 to 5 in particular categories. If you'd like to know a little bit behind the scenes of how that was done, and kind of eye-popping visuals to the kind of ear-tickling sound and the music, overall experience and the synthesis of some of the elements, and the kind of surprises and inventiveness and what you're able to do with those visuals and the sounds, and some of the extra layers of visuals that you brought in, you know, from steampunk coffee machines, you know, actual prop, and sticking that into your VR. That was amazing. And obviously Nyan Wales, you weren't part of the competition, but I'm really glad that you guys had that in there just to kind of showcase how that was all done too. So congratulations to everyone. And the judges were blown away, seriously. So well done.
Good. Yeah. So I don't know if we want to stay on for any other kind of feedback, or how you want to do that, or just switch to this other room. I'll leave it to you all.
We just have a little group conversation here, or?
Yeah, I think the comments the judges gave for Holofrenia, if you know, it's kind of like, it was nice use of like living art and super impressive, and use of the space and the silhouettes and the fogging and the stylistic choices for the practical need of how you orientated the user and how they were experiencing it. So it was really listenable, and good use of the 3D imagery and the shapes and the sounds. So for all of that. So does anyone have any questions for us? Or Ocean, do you have any more comments for? Oh,
just the Holofrenia was just magnificent. And as you explained it today on the call, hearing that it was inspired by some of your dreams, that makes total sense. It was, you know, if Salvador Dali had access to PatchXR, this is maybe the kind of thing he would have made, with that amazing scale and the surrealistic aspect of it. But it was beautifully done, and it was quite kind of profound in a way. So yeah, brilliant. We all loved it, obviously.
Thanks.
Yeah, it was because a few videos came a little bit late in on schedule. So I guess also you guys didn't. I mean, I guess the jury was not really able to review again today after submission. So well.
I was able to watch them, so I saw some of the updated ones, but the other jury members, because it's like it was a little bit last minute and they had a 2-year-old crying, they weren't able to kind of give full focus, but they will be watching it and giving some feedback. So you will all be able to get our comments, and you know, you can find us on Twitter. I'm at Mookie Approved. You can ping me anytime. Ocean's at Ocean Lenny. Rafi's at Rafi Animates. So look out for Patch's tweet that tags us all, and then you'll be able to kind of like, you know, interact with us at any time. So I think what's happening now is that we move to a different room with the winner. Is that right? But before we do that,
here, because actually we haven't had a group meeting to kind of end
okay, okay, sure. So Ocean and I are here for any kind of questions or any chit chat or talk. And then I think there's a one-to-one mentoring with the winner. Is that right? Is that how this is working? Okay. So we can extra 5 minutes just chatting to us if anybody has any questions or
comments. I want to talk to each other because it's true we haven't had our happy hour end of Patchathon group meeting because everybody was just crunching on finishing their piece. So like, put your microphone on and just like let's cheers together.
Yeah. I have a question for everyone, all the creators. Are you drinking, Peter? What Pete? Okay, Pete. Right, not Peter. Peter Kirn. Pete.
Oh, I'm drinking matcha, but I have
nice.
a long night ahead actually. So well, not long night, but I'm playing in the Suicide Club garden from 7 to 1. So yeah.
Saludcita. Felicidades, cabrón.
Can I just have just a show of hands? Was this week the first time anyone ever like heard of Patch? Or it's your first time using the tools?
It was the first time using. I had heard about it, but used is the first time.
Too early for beer. It's never too early for beer, honey. Don't worry. We endorse daytime drinking 100%. That's how Edo and I bonded 2 years ago at the Berlin Music Most Wanted. 10 a.m. Have a beer. It's fine. So what was do you guys, does everyone plan on continuing using Patch for their art and their work?
Yeah.
Does anyone want to talk about how else that you think that it'll become part of what you do, or anyone? Bueller?
Everybody's ready for a break from it for a few hours. But yeah.
We got Zoom eyes.
Am I muted? No.
You're on. You're on.
I'm on. Okay. Hang on. So no, I definitely will use Patch. I'm just really waiting for it to be functional for the Quest because I don't own a PC, but I can see a lot of possibility for it, especially with the goal of having it multiplayer later. And the Patchathon was really interesting to see like what is possible to do, in there and see how everybody else used, 3D elements. I had no idea you could get fog in there. Like I thought it was quite just like, the 360 video or objects. But anyways, I can see there's a lot of possibility. And yeah, no, for sure I'm going to be using it. I just need to like either get a PC or wait for it to be on the Quest, and then I can properly go in. And the more customizable that it gets, I think the better it will be for artists to then put on, performances and create, worlds. I think you're all sitting on something really interesting with Patch, in the sense also for thinking on the multiplayer, because if you think of it as a mix of social media and also, like VR chat or Outspace VR combined with making music, and that the user can make their own worlds of sound, then you're encouraged to visit each other and play each other's instruments. I think it can be really good. Like for many things, so definitely.
That's awesome. And I really like how some of you met for the first time just through the application process. That was Chris, Rat. You guys just met through the application. How did you get paired up then? How did that work?
Yeah, so I just posted a message on the our internal Slack channel saying that if there's a visual artist that wanted to collaborate, it'd be awesome. And yeah, Tom messaged back and said, let's do it.
Brilliant. So you just met, and that's proper cross world, around the world remote collaboration using the Patch XR tools. That's brilliant. Everybody gets an honorable mention for that. That's awesome. Yeah. Is there anything that popped out for you, Ocean, when we were kind of like looking through these and chatting through? So one thing's interesting is Ocean is a brilliant DJ as well. I'm not his agent, by the way, but we've known each other a very long time. And what's great that we can actually hear how some of these sounds can actually be used maybe on the dance floor in a DJ mix. Like we were kind of talking about like some of the deep bass with an urchin and some of the other kind of hypnotic sounds. Like what other kind of stuff were we chatting about, Ocean, before?
Yeah, I mean, it's. I used to work in recording studios a million years ago, back in the 1990s, so way before the internet and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, to now have this virtual world instrument that you can just dial in and literally make with the hands of God is just incredible. And I think in many of the pieces, you know, there's this beautiful overlap between the musical expression and visual expression and, you know, this unlimited canvas. I particularly, you know, as somebody who's a music nut, etc., like Mookie, like everyone, you know, when the work goes into the music and things like the arpeggiators and the sequencers and all that kind of thing are you know, merging together really nicely with the visuals. It's a whole new canvas of audio-visual expression, which I don't think has existed before, or if it has, I haven't come across it. So I think it's very exciting, and I think you're all pioneers in this new art form, which is, you know, only going to get more sophisticated, more, you know, more creative, and you have the kind of brave mission of being the pioneers and being the first people to make these statements in this new canvas. So yeah, I think it's incredibly exciting. It would be cool to see how, you know, a performer could be hooked in with a DJ, or could be hooked in with a live gig, or a, you know, we saw that Travis Scott gig in Fortnite recently. You know, there's more of an overlap between performing artists and virtual worlds. So this is maybe a potential thing for the Patch XR portfolio of instruments and creators to be involved in these other virtual spaces. I don't know how any of that could work, but you know, people are going to see musicians perform in virtual spaces. They're going to pay for it more and more. And you know, I mean, the first time I saw Patch XR, I just thought, my God, wait till Richie Houghton gets a look at this. This is going to be incredible. And I think that moment
next on the list.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think that moment's coming, you know, and it's, you know, but everybody who took part in the Patchathon is a pioneer in this field, and we're just going to see more and more creativity and, you know, mind-blowing new forms of expressions coming out of it. So I think it's exciting, and congratulations for all being the first to do this stuff, you know.
Yeah, and I think it'd be great. Another kind of challenge. It'd be great for all the finalists that made this work together, for kind of like Patchathon to be a little club, and you guys continue on your pieces, because it's like I've done the hackathon thing before. I've slept under the desk. I know it's a crazy couple days and a crazy week, and especially if you're using these tools for the first time, or you don't have a PC, or maybe you don't have a, you know, it's these kind of experimentations. So yes, and it's never too early for a beer, number one. But it'd be great to like see kind of Patchathon, this everyone involved here just kind of keep in touch with each other and continue collaborating. And whether those are new pieces or you kind of layer into what you did in a sprint, that I would love to see that. And again, our doors are open 24/7, so you can always like ping us on Twitter and keep in touch. So we'd love to see your pieces continue to grow, and your relationships to continue to grow as XR spatial artists. So cool. Again, it's been a pleasure to watch all your work and view all your work. In the next 5 minutes, does anyone have any other topics to bring up for us as judges and industry folks?
I was just thinking, I'd love to
multiplayer dropping.
Take Patch XR to a festival and actually create like massive, real augmented hands for the guy with the Quest controllers, so that the audience at the festival can actually see their movement, and like with even like lights on their hands that are activated by the different buttons and triggers. So it's a bit like, so friends of ours ran the Apollo 50 festival at Goonhilly last year with Orbital, and you know, Orbital forever have had the headlights, and that's just for the crowd, you know, and so they can see what the hell they're doing. But it's just that little extra augmentation, and then the huge screen with the patch visuals. I mean, I'd love to do that, and just see what we can do. You know, it's always adding more theatre, add more theatre to the experience whenever you can. So
Yeah, it's a great point, Pete. And I know that Moses and Edo, you guys have experimented with that quite early, where you've got somebody in the headset, and then there's a live band on stage. And there is a very old video that's on the PatchXR website that you could check out, and the YouTube channel, where you can really see that in action. But I'd like to challenge that, you know, hopefully when we can all be together live on stage in person and stuff. But there's going to be a next iteration of that for sure, for that live integration of what you could do with the sounds and like live composing in Patch.
Yeah.
On stage with a real band, or on stage with a DJ, the multimedia effects in a club or a festival or in a tent.
Or remote as well. Like
remote, of course.
The last
need a screen.
The last
and a good connection.
Simultaneous concerts happening around the world, and people are playing like.
But this is what we did actually last month. We had because of COVID, you know, so you had like one guy playing on Patch in a city in France with two guys on stage in a different city, and they were playing together remotely. And these are definitely things that can, and you know, it was at the same time on stage and then streamed on Zoom, so like crazy kind of thing. And I think this is like definitely, if you guys are interested in taking your work or new works that you're making with Patch for concert and stuff, the idea right now is we're gonna keep one channel open, I think the workspace channel open from the Slack, and then we can keep the community going and, you know, keep giving you advice or fixing stuff, or, you know, pretty much what we've done during the hackathon. We're gonna keep this alive. And, you know, want to support you guys with the next work and continuing of this work and grow the community as well. So yeah, you're welcome to stay and keep your good work.
Yeah, exactly. And the same, you know, I mean, I know that we're all also trying to, I mean, so this was sort of Amaze kind of structured the format and interaction here, but I know all of us on the curatorial side of things and otherwise observing or figuring that there's going to be a lot of stuff that will be virtual still through 2021, no matter what happens. That doesn't mean that there won't be non-virtual things, but there will definitely be virtual things through 2021. So we're all looking for things that are expressive and creative and emotional. And so it's really great to see work like this that feels that way. It's really can make us a little more optimistic about the medium, right? So yeah, I mean, I was really blown away with everybody's work, and sort of what I hoped for was just as much variety as possible, you know, and not having worked with the system before, I didn't know what to expect. So I'm really pleased that you all kind of made this large spectrum of work, and that each of you have such kind of unique and personal and yeah, really kind of personal takes on things. I think I'm out of words this week. It's good that I'm only DJing tonight. But yeah, all of that. I'll stop talking.
Another thing maybe to mention is that, I mean, if it's all okay with you guys, as soon as we got our website set up better and stuff, we'd love to post your every pieces on our website, and, you know, with your name and everything, and, you know, get your patches so we can actually try them in VR as well. Because right now we've only seen them, most of us only saw them on the screen. And
so you haven't seen them in VR. So you all need to kind of try to patch, you mean?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I want to actually be in VR and test these works. Like, that's what they're meant for, like the actually immersive space. And of course, in the different settings, a jury would have the opportunity to actually experience the work in virtual space, like in 3 dimensions, and check the haptic and how it feels like to be surrounded by these works. Unfortunately, it was not possible, but I mean, if that's cool with you, to send us your patch so we can actually try them in VR, that would be awesome. And another thing I wanted to mention is, you know, with the COVID things, we got a lot of people contacting us for festivals and stuff like this, because they are looking for new formats for online digital kind of cool concert or whatever, live music. So if that's cool with you, We can also present the portfolio of what you guys made during this Patchathon as possible things, you know, that maybe, you know, we can hook you up with some festival or stuff like that to either perform this piece or, you know, take this work further, if that's cool. If you all agree on that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, cool. That would be awesome. Yeah.
So do we now move to a different room?
Yeah, I think we give everybody else a break. So big
Congrats
round of
to
applause.
Julian.
Congrats, everybody.
Yes, well done, guys.
We do that together. There's some
And
latency.
again, yeah, get us on socials. Congratulations, Peter and Mello and Edo and everybody for putting this whole thing together, and doing it remotely too. So it's yeah, well done, guys. It's a lot of work. We understand, so it's all good. So
Yeah, and thanks, Peter, so much. Actually, I think we haven't. Thank you.
Yeah, Peter, you did an absolutely sterling job. That was very impressive.
yes,
Appreciate it.
the blind emceeing, just like looking and seeing.
Well, anybody who's actually in Berlin, feel free to come around for a pizza. They're vegan pizzas, 7 to 1 a.m. tonight at Suicide Club at Warschauer Straße.
Oh, I wish I could go. I wish I could be in Berlin
There's,
now.
well, the upside of this is that there's not really as many tourists around Warschauer Straße. They're tourists, but it's like only German tourists, which is a little weird.
Right.
All the German students are on break, so they're there, but it's right. It's weird. Like there's all these tourists around. I can tell because they're German people, like, you know. But it means that it's things are things are pleasant there if you want to drop by. And the rest of you, I'll see you somewhere in person. We hope soon.